All right, guys, good morning to everybody. This is KEL. Today is the 13th of April, 2026. Crazy Global Market Talk with KEL. Crazy anytime, anywhere. All right, guys, I think you should know by now we have a big market movement this morning because of Donald Trump and US decided to block the Strait of Hormuz. All right, basically putting like an ERP gantry right in front of Strait of Hormuz. So, of course, the question is this, can he get it done? I can tell you that the chance of it getting it done is literally not possible, right? Because how to do that? First of all, who wants to pay him? That's the first question. Second thing is that will intensify the whole thing. And the peace treaty, as I mentioned back then, it will not get any form of possible approval because look at it, the whole 10 rules, none of them show that there is a possible chance of this happening. So because of that right now, right, it is very clear that we may not get to see what we want to see. And because of that, this morning, we noticed that the market gapped down because now the peace seems to be over and then the war should be starting once again. Okay, so for today, before we go into detail, disclaimer apply as usual. All right, so that everybody knows what to expect from the market and also do your post risk management. Okay. All right, let's start the session right now to go into the technical of the market. 不是谈没有？你看这个，还在删？这个这你教他怎么样做 multiple center。Okay, guys, let's look at gold this morning, all right? Shall we? Now, this morning, the gold, the very important thing that everybody must take note is the inverse pivot here. Today, the pivot 1 and pivot 2 are inverse. So basically, if the market opens within the two pivot, it will be very tight squeeze in between. But when the market opens outside the pivot, this is where it gets very interesting. I'll say this up front right now, is that is that if the market today stays above OP and now is staying above the MA30, which is the 4705 MA30, if it stays above this 4705, right, there's a very high chance that the gold will go to the next number, which is the pivot 1. And pivot 1 was a level, if you can see on your screen this morning. Pivot 1, okay, we stack here. Let me just clear my screen first. Okay, if you cannot see this, there's another way out. You can actually do this. It's under object list, whereby you can see here now. Okay, this is all the levels that you can see. And can you see? Like, overshot on pivot 1 4746 4746. Can you see that? So how to see this again? I do this again, everybody. If you see that the lines are being stacked, right click, go to the thing called object list, click on it. Then every part of CRAZII, every line is here. Then you slowly go down, you will see pivots, and you see pivot 1, 4746, right? Okay, so you know number, yeah? Okay, so if the market is to stay above the MA30, there is a possibility to go to 4746 today. Okay, so very interesting number, just remember that, yeah? 4746. Okay, next. Now, do you notice that this morning, when the gold gapped down and it was trading above OP, do you notice the KSI, the length of the KSI was very, very huge. So this explained to you that this morning, the moment the market opened at 4635, the buyers just come in very, very strongly. And this tells you why other indicator open up to sell, but we open up to buy. Okay, so this is another very important thing about the KSI this morning that we need to take note. Okay, or understand. So now the question is, what made me think that we'll see 4746 today? Now, let me just go to the 5-minute chart, and that will explain everything in detail. Video 10秒. Video 10秒. Okay? All right? 这样子扫. Okay, let's take a look. Yeah, this is the gold chart this morning. Okay, so gold this morning, as you can see, gap down. And the opening price is here. The opening price is 4635. All right. And as you can see, the moment it opened, straight away it shoot up to KTR plus 3. And remember, KTR plus 3 is our most extreme point. And the market stopped exactly at KTR plus 3. So that again tells you how powerful is CRAZII. CRAZII actually calculated KTR plus 3 in the first 1 second at 00 hour, 00 minute, 01 second. And that's how powerful is our CRAZII software, right? So now the question comes in. After that, the price comes down. You notice that it hangs around here. Where is a key point? This guy. Remember I told you, when the market is above OP with a KCX, it's a very good buying signal. All you need to do is look out for CCRY. So majority of you bought the gold here at CCRY, and you were expecting the price to go higher. No wrong. Buying there wasn't wrong, but the market is smart. The market know you are buying. So what did the market do? The market purposely sell down. The market purposely sell down. And then what happened? What happened? The market purposely sell down, and you get a sell stop loss, right? Some of you get very upset and say, Cal, I follow your rule, I lose money. Now, dear all, if trading is one shot, one kill, 100%, then I won't be teaching you. I'll be charging you. Okay? So what you need to do, follow the rule again. Because do you notice that when the price was coming down, the KSI was green. And the KSI was not only green, the KSI was rising. So that means that while the market was selling, the big boys were buying. So that is a typical way the big boys trap retailers to make the same mistake over and over again. And what you need to do is very simple. If they want to sell, the market will go down, right? But if they want to sell, but yet the market go up, that means that the real intention is a buy. Forget about how much you lose earlier. Forget what you did earlier. That's not important, because that is not the way CRAZII is about. CRAZII is about repeated pattern, quant, C-U-A-N-T. Quant is just a repeated pattern that's available in the market for us to repeat and go into the market. So when the market did a CCRY again, that was where you can buy. Now, the only question you want to ask me is this, Cal. This morning, KTR plus 3 was already given. So can we buy here? The answer is yes, you can. We never say that hit KTR plus 3 cannot trade anymore, just that the probability itself is not so high. But this morning, as you can see, the one that traded the KTR plus 3 was a red candle. It wasn't a yellow candle. So which means that the buy side itself, there is still possibility. So now what happened? The market here was a buy. And then it started to stabilize around KTR plus 2. Now, everybody focus with me right now. This is going to be a very important lesson for everybody today. This is going to be very big. So stay tuned and listen. All right. For all the people who want to turn professional, today is a very good day to understand this very well. Now, look at this. When the market is going upwards, okay, do you notice that the closing price was getting higher? Do you notice that? Yes, there's a point whereby the market purposely come down to break the previous bar low. But that is nothing, because it's still a yellow candle, it's still above OP, it's still KSI green. But because you exited, because you put the trailing stop at the previous bar low, the boys also know. So that's why the boy purposely does it. And you look carefully right now, this 3 candle. Do you notice that the market, the closing is getting higher and higher and higher. And then after that, it starts to stabilize, rocketed up, and that's where it goes all the way up to your MA. That is where your green dot come out. So this is where you have to listen very clearly. Now, when you see green color dot coming out on CRAZII, what does it mean? It means that there will be big movement coming in. There will be big movement coming in. So all you need to do is to look at this chart and tell yourself, very simple, big movement up will be pivot 1. Big movement down, it will be KTR plus 3 or the most KTR plus 2. So now, very simple. Look at the color now. What color is on your screen? It's yellow candle. So if you want to buy, you target pivot 1. If you want to sell, wait for the candle to turn red. You sell down to KTR plus 3. Understand? Very simple. No need to think so much because you're just at this point here. Clear, everybody? This is a very simple way to understand how to trade in the market. All right? I want you to understand this. This is how you can do that. So remember, look at the screen now, everybody, and see what you need to do. If you think it's a buy, just go ahead and buy. If you think it's a sell, you can sell. But remember, the market now is above KTR plus 3. And I said before many times, when the market is above KTR plus 3, try not to sell. It will kill you. Okay? Why? Think about this. This morning, the market gap down, right? Whole world is panicking. I'm sure retailers panicking. Now, who has the right brain to go and buy? It must be someone who knows to take advantage of the situation, right? So who has the power to bring the price from KTR, from OP to KTR plus 3, and now hang above KTR plus 3? Look at how long it hang. The market has hung more than almost an hour at above KTR plus 3. Who has this power to hold so long? Now, some of you will say this, Cal, but because now Hormuz is now being blocked by US, and of course, if the Iran fight the US, then of course the gold will collapse, right? Agree. So, but you must understand. You must understand a very important thing. If this time there's going to be a fight, there's going to be a fight, okay? Then if US is involved, do you think US will not retaliate? So to me, what US is do is simple. They put a dare game ready. They are basically putting a dare game into the market. Okay? If you touch me, I fire you. Then become I know wrong. So this is actually a very strategic move by US. Collecting of money is just additional, but the real intention is to dare Iran now to fire US. Then US will have all the right to fire Iran. And when they do that itself, Congress will have to accept. And that is where Congress will not give Trump the issue, because now if they fire us, that is what the whole thing is. And I told you before that this is what the whole thing is about. So don't need to think so much. What Richard said is correct. The market is above MA 30 now. Just go with the flow, follow through and buy. Okay? If it's wrong, just cut and then sell. Okay? All clear? That is very simple to do. Yeah, I've given you my take for today. Yeah, you go and decide what to do. Okay, all clear? All right. For those who are not too sure what I'm saying, you may want to just just remember that, follow the OP rule. That's the most important thing. Okay, so gold is going up, as I can see right now. So I will look to buy myself. All right, I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, no point me calling you to buy, and I don't buy myself. Right? Doesn't make sense here. But remember, trading, you must always put stop loss to protect anything. Okay, just remember that. Nothing is 100%. Okay, all right. So next thing is this. There's a lot of messages coming in today. I know that those today is one of those days whereby everybody is getting crazy. Yeah. Okay. Someone asked me, Cal, do you think gold will go down? I mean, if someone asks me this question now, that means you are actually short the market, right? Now, usually when this happens, ask yourself a question. Look at the KSI. Look at the colors. Correct enough. I'm not saying that it won't go down, but the chance of it happening now in the near term is going to be tough. Now, of course, what if suddenly Iran fire at US? Then will the gold suddenly drop? Yes, it will. So put trailing stop. It will, yeah. I say upfront, yeah. If Iran decided don't care, they're going to fire at US, and then what happened? Gold will suddenly drop because of that problem. Okay, so remember that. But before that, you must understand this: why would Iran fire US? That is something that you must think carefully. All right. So the media will do their job to make you very confused. You just have to follow the colors, make your life easier. Okay. All right. Now, another reason why today I'm more to the buy side. Do you see a stacked diamond here? This is stacked diamond, right? So stacked diamond, what must you put? You must put a line at the stacked diamond, right? So you put a line at the stacked diamond, closing price, which is here. You will see that now, this morning, when the gold price go up, right, it's not by coincidence. All right, it's going up. Okay. So you can see that when the market breaks the stacked diamond, which is 4665 approximately, it goes up. So now gold is 4722. Yeah, I already tell you today my target is pivot 1. Okay, I don't know if it will hit today, but I already traded just now. I'll leave that alone, yeah, for you to decide. Now, some of you are caught in the US crude oil because you shorted over the weekend because you expected that nothing happened. But of course, Trump and his friends got other things in mind. So you want me to help you now to solve your problem, right? Okay, so let me be very objective here, yeah? Look at this whole trading downwards. Look at the KSI. Can you tell me what do you think will happen? I can tell you now straight in your face. The oil must stay above OP, must stay for you to buy. If it go below OP, for those who are short, you still got some saving chance. But if oil stays above OP, then I'm sorry, I'm telling you that the oil will go up. And where will it go? It'll go for the KCB. And the KCB, what is that? The KCB is here. Hold on, at 108.22. 108.22. Now, 108.22 is the KCB. And it's very possible for oil price to go there. So some of you will say, KEL, then we should buy oil, sell gold, right? Please don't listen to all those nonsense people who tell you all that nonsense thing. Each market is on its own. Yes, there were a period of time oil and gold move inversely. But remember, they are both traded in US denomination. And second, we all know in historical textbook, when there's economic crisis, gold will go up, right? So then you may ask, then why the gold and the crude oil goes differently this time? Because the inflation issue. But if the inflation issue is put away now, and you will focus on the war, focus on the current situation, the market will buy gold. So don't need to think so much, follow the OP rule. That's the most important point. Don't be bothered by all these people telling you this and this is related, hence therefore the connection there itself. Guys, if there's such thing called connection in the market, then we don't need to study so hard already. Just remember that. Okay, from Vietnam. Hello, sir. I want to ask a question. If the price is above OP, we prioritize buying. And if a diamond appears above and the next one is red, do we exit and run? Good question. The answer is exit if the KSI is also red. If the KSI is also red on the 5-minute chart, then exit first, then come back in later. Okay, that will be the answer. All right, because when the market is trending upwards, there will always be pullback. That means in a 5-minute chart, right, when the market opens in the 5-minute chart, remember, the market will always do this. There will be pullback. There will be red candles. There will be time the KSI is red. There will be pullback. If you're not going to hold this position, and you want to go in, go out, go in, go out, then you exit. Then you come back in again. That's how. But then that means you must remember, you must be full time watching the market the whole day. If not, you will lose out the market. Yeah. Okay. Understand? All right. So guys, this is the KCB at 108.22. Okay. So this will happen. Watch out for this if the market stay up. Okay. The KCL now temporarily ignore it because the KCL is not supposed to be there. And it will always surface the next yellow candle. So not this one. Since this actually is an error, we'll have the new charting next month. Okay. Now, same thing again. I just what Richard has put along earlier. Now the crude oil is trading above the MA30, which is the short-term bullishness. So which means that now the short-term buy is there. So if you look at it later on in the afternoon, where all the European market comes in, right, and they realize that crude oil is trading above MA30, their software will kick in to buy. So watch out for that. Yeah. Okay. So crude oil today above OP is also above pivot 1, which means that this is a classic pivot buy trade. Okay. So another reason for you to understand that's why the crude oil cannot come down. Okay. All right. So that is crude oil. We do one more market and we'll end the session. Okay. Dow Jones. Now this morning we covered our Dow Jones short and we went long. And what's the reason for going long? The answer is still the same. It's above OP, we go long. But then some people come to ask me a question, KEL, the market is below pivot 2. Why do you go long? Guys, when we buy above OP, even though the pivot 2 is on top of us, but it's above OP, meaning the pivot cannot resist us. Because for pivot to work below OP, below pivot 2 is a sell. But when it's above OP but below pivot 2, it's nothing. It's just contra each other. The only thing is that when the pivot later on, why is it there? Okay. Hold on, there's something on my other screen here. A Susan screen. Okay. All right. Okay. When the market is actually going towards the pivot 2, there will be some resistance there. And if the market stays above the resistance, which is the 47633, the market can cover the gap. And I tell you one thing, in American history, this one must always remember. US is always a country that will never be threatened by another force. And I can tell you over 27 years in my experience as a trader, whenever US get into a point whereby being threatened by another country, on the very day, the stock market will get down first because of the futures, right? Which is happening now, right? But I can say 90%, 90, yeah, not 100, yeah, the market will close positive by the end of the day. Why? Because there is an amendment that they'll never give in to terrorism. And we've seen it so many times. Whenever this thing happens, the US market will purposely push it all the way up. Now, there's two things that come in mind. One, they want to prove to the whole world that if you short the market first, okay, I will make sure that you pay double. But the thing is this time around, the one that triggered it is not Iran, it's US themselves. They are the one who put the Strait of Hormuz inside the thing. So they are the one that created the problem for themselves. So do you think that Donald Trump will make the market go down? I don't think so. So again, my point is simple. If the market stays above OP, just stick to the buy side. Make your life easier. Okay? All clear? It's that simple. All right, guys, that will be the end of today's session. Thank you for coming in. Today, we are with our manpower shop because we are all now having a little miniature class. So if anything that you need to find us, please contact the relevant person. Thank you very much. Take care. And I see you online very soon. This is Cal signing off. Bye-bye.